Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get started on the Polar Base Supply contract. So the first thing that we'll have to do is load up a metal beam here. And then we can run over to the warehouse next to us and pick up 2 bricks. In the last episode, we completed a few contracts in the area here in Northport. And on this episode, we're probably going to get most of the rest of them done. It'll be close. So we're at the warehouse, let's see, on the west side of the map. This is where we're at, and we're headed to this warehouse right here. We'll take this back road so we can be pointed the right direction after we get loaded. Once we get finished up with Northport, we'll head back to the Scout and we'll run into Mountain River, get some of those grades that I've been looking forward to get so we can have a little more power in our trucks. All right, so we need to haul 4 bricks to the Polar Base, but we're only gonna load 2 on this truck, and then we'll pick up the other 2 with the Fleet Star that's just up the road. So let's head to the Polar Base and we'll take the route that goes, let's map it out. We'll take this route that goes basically like we're headed to the drill site, cross that river, across the lake, and then instead of going to the drill site, we'll turn and run up this way by that watchtower, through the mud, across the river again, and to the Polar Base. So that's what it looks like. Nothing too complicated there. We've done it a couple times with this truck without issue, so we shouldn't have any issues this time. My enthusiasm for this series has definitely ramped up again now that we're in Alaska. I really enjoy this region. And we haven't even really upgraded this truck all the way yet, so there's still more performance on the table ready to come. That's always fun. All right, we just passed the Fleet Star back there. There he is. Hey, buddy. And we're about to cross the swamp again, the swampy swamp. I'm gonna go a little to the right before I turn over. Just make sure my trailer doesn't drag through these roots. The roots, man, I'm telling you, the roots are the worst part of the game. It can look like nothing, and it can hang you up for a long time, especially when you get to Tamir. The roots there are so bad. There, I just hit one. Oh no, it was a tree. Seems like we're having less trouble this time through here than we were last time. Of course, last time we had a pretty heavy load with that container. Those containers, they look like big, hollow, empty boxes, but they've got some weight to them. We do still need to do the logging contract on this map. I think it's just called timber. It's not so bad. I believe it's one load of long logs and 2 loads of medium. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can take the highway pretty much the entire way, or you can take like the back road that's over by, if you remember when we had to do the power lines check task right at the very beginning in episode 1, there's a road over there that you can take also. It's quite a bit worse. It's not like impossible or anything, it's just kind of slow. But that's a good example of what I was referring to before about how usually there's an off-road route and there's a highway route with ice. It just depends on your personal preference on how you like to play. If you're running with chain tires already installed, then the highway route is probably the easiest and most efficient way. If you're playing with a super hopped up off-road beast and you didn't want to use chain tires on it and you just have like mud tires or something, then it probably would be better to take the other route. The chain tire or the mud tires, they do really poorly on the icy roads. It seems like the wider your tires are and the less highway grip they have, the worse they do on the icy highways. These tires haven't been doing too bad on the highways, I guess I should say. I mean, I have been trying to take it easy and not get too reckless. That makes a difference. Come on, chew your way up there. No? Alright. We're resorting to the winch. And now we're almost back to the drill site. Straight ahead there is the drill site. We're going to turn left instead. The Polar Base is just across this lake on the left side. You can see the drop-off arrow there. We do still need to pick up that pipe at some point and get that hauled in. It's a fairly heavy load on this truck right now, but, you know, it's not killing me or anything here. or weight. It is kind of heavy. And we're nearing the polar base. This is kind of some cruddy mud right here. It's always funny when you can't get somewhere with all-wheel drive on, so you turn it off and then you get through it. It just goes against everything that SnowRunner players want you to believe. This thing kind of bounces, and that's part of the advantage that it has, is the way that it bounces on the ground. It kind of forces the tires up in the air. They get a little bit of speed, then they come back down and hit the ground and grab. Each truck, you know, they're tuned differently, and they have their advantages for sure. Okay, we've got that much accomplished. I'm gonna pull this truck out of the way, and then we'll jump back into the Fleet Star. I think we can just park it right here in this person's yard. I don't think they mind. Let's get back to the Fleet Star. First thing I'm gonna do is run over to the gas station so I can pick up 2 fuel. I'm not positive if the fuel or the bricks are heavier. Which one is heavier? I'm guessing the fuel is possibly heavier, but they're probably both about the same as far as weight goes. I can see already that it's going to be a struggle pulling that trailer that we hauled over here to the polar base with this truck, because it was struggling just getting it over to here on these roads, and they're not near as bad, but we'll get it there. It's going to take some winching, I suppose. I could double stack the bricks on top of the fuel, but this thing gets kind of unstable with the double stack. I'll grab some fuel to top off my truck. There's always more than one way to accomplish stuff in this game. You kind of always have to be analyzing what the risk versus reward is and whether or not it's worth it to you individually. So we'll head back over to the warehouse where we picked up the bricks a few minutes ago with the Royal, and we'll get 2 more bricks. Load them up on that flatbed trailer that we left there earlier, and we'll take it out to the drill site. We'll just run the Fleet Star with the all-wheel drive off for a little bit. I can definitely feel the weight of this fuel in here, the full load. It's just kind of wobbling back and forth. All right, now that we're here, what is that, MH warehouse? Now that we're at the MH warehouse, we can get turned around. If you're playing hard mode, right back there to the right is where you restock your supply, your repair points, your repair service points, and your add-ons or trailers. And now that we're connected, we'll get loaded and we'll head the same path that we went with the Royal just a few minutes ago. We'll see how this truck does. I know it's gonna struggle in that watery area. Oh shit, kind of scared me there. I gotta remember the weight of this trailer tends to push the back of the truck when you're going around corners and stuff. It definitely will push the back of your truck around, causing you to flip. That's what happened in Black River with that logging trailer. Just trying to go down that hill, try to stop. The weight of the trailer just pushed the back of my truck around, and that was it. It was a slow disaster. And we can hang a left here. The trusty Fleet Star, just bouncing its way through. The guy looks so big in this truck, you know, because they look so small in a lot of the other ones. And this one, he's just like, he's huge in there. And it starts already. The struggle. Haven't even got to the nasty stuff yet. I think this time I'll try the right side. They're both about the same, but I've been taking that left side every time. This doesn't seem too bad, actually. It's definitely a load. We made it through without any real big issues. That was pretty good. Didn't get hung up on anything. Hanging another left here. Heading over to the river crossing. Having a little bit of trouble getting up this hill. What is he digging under the dash for? I just saw him reach under the dash. What are you trying to get, man? Did you drop your coffee? Probably not the best time to be down digging around on the floor. I seems to be doing okay with everything turned off. Just put it in high gear. Chomping its way through. Seems like we're relying on the chomping technique a little bit too much. The thing is, once you get the biggest engines, you really don't have to play like this. You don't have to alternate back and forth between all-wheel drive and diff lock and all of that, because you got the power to just do it all, you know? But we're not there yet. That was a pretty good little shot. This spot here, Always gets me. I go too far to the right. Come on. Don't be doing that. Those trailer tires just about got hung up on it, but they didn't, luckily. So if you look straight across the lake there, there's kind of a clearing of snow. One of my friends was driving the TransStar out here, and you know the TransStar has a snorkel that goes up to the top of the roof. And he drove the TransStar out into this lake and was driving around all over the place without getting stuck or anything, without damaging the engine, nothing. So then it got me thinking, because right on the other side of that clearing is the logging station over by the gas station. I kind of want to just, I'll do it on my own time, but I kind of want to just try driving long logs across there with the TransStar. I think it would be fun, just to see. It's a little bit slow here too. Seems like I'm always saying that in the same spot, so right? It's a little bit slow here. I'll use the winch. I don't want to take forever to do this. That's working pretty good. All right, put it in high, turn the all-wheel drive off. That seems to work all right. And then we'll take a left here again, right before the, oh, what is that? The oil drill site, oil field. I'm also trying to get more into the habit of what if I'm running with both all-wheel drive and diff lock turned off. If I start to struggle, I've always been in the habit of just immediately turning on the all-wheel drive first, right? But I'm trying to get into the habit of turning on the diff lock first to see if that's all I need, you know? I know other players who have done a lot of testing with using diff lock versus all-wheel drive, and their fuel seems to go a lot farther than, say, someone who uses all-wheel drive versus diff lock first. Because diff lock doesn't use any more fuel, but all-wheel drive really ramps up your fuel usage. Okay, I guess we're heading to the town according to that sign. Now, the regular sideboard trailers, the 2-slot ones, the red wagon trailers, that would definitely pull through here a lot easier. They're taller, have a little more ground clearance, they're lighter, but I really don't like them. And I try to avoid them at all costs because it seems like all they do is tip over constantly. These ones are a lot more stable. They're just heavier, harder to pull through the deep stuff. I was going to put a winch from my truck through the tree, but there wasn't any real decent trees to winch to, so I'm gonna use the trailer to winch off of instead. And that did it. We're almost there. Just up to the left. Around the corner. The only downside to diff lock only, sometimes it's tough to steer when you have a heavy load on with this truck. It takes the weight off the front tires, you know. Polar base supply is complete. Now what do we have left? Timber and floating drill. All right, let's get some of these tasks done that are in the area here. We have lost tube, oil tank delivery, and abandoned supplies. We can do abandoned supplies right now. So let's get that one active. I'm going to run and drop this trailer off at the trailer store. Or am I? Actually, no. I'm just gonna back it up out of the way. It's not really gonna go out of the way of doing that though, is it? There we go. It'd be a little tricky getting them to steer the way you want them to. You kind of have to do it counterintuitively, or how you would normally back up a trailer. You kind of just have to steer the opposite direction to get the trailer tongue to turn the right way. All right, I think we've got enough fuel to do this. We're getting a little bit low. We'll push our luck and see how far we can go with it. So just running up the road from where we were at there, we were right back there, and the trailer that we're going to get is literally right up the road. I don't think we've gone this way yet, but there was another water over the road sign. It's really muddy right here. And then instead of following the road to the left, I'll just turn right into the lake. It's not deep. Put it in high and let it fly. Nice hard rocky bottom here. And then we can pick up this trailer and just go right back the way we came. I'm gonna stay to the left this time instead of driving through the mud. Not sure why I drove through that mud in the first place. Just a cruising down the back roads. And we're back already. That wasn't very far. Burned a little bit of fuel. Might have to just run over to the trailer store and get refueled. I think I'll do that. Let me see how much fuel is in the Royal. Actually, the Royal has plenty. I'm just gonna swap some over to this truck. Save some time on that. No, the other way. 99? I don't know. Is that enough? I don't know how much to put in there. That seems like an even split. I don't think I turned it off. No, I didn't. Kill the engine. Let's go do the lost tube task. We're pretty close to it. And then we can get fueled up. So we're heading back to the drill site. Man, this is getting nasty through here. I suppose I just drug 2 heavy loads through here, right? And I don't have any weight on, which is not helping me in this situation. Still chewing this way through though. Beautiful. Now I'm getting closer. You can see the drill site there off to the left and the watchtower. That watchtower is kind of a landmark, right? It's basically right in the center of the entire map. So whenever you see that, you always know where you're at. Now, there's a couple ways. You can reach this tube. If you pull ahead a little bit, you can reach that tube from the road, but I like to just pull right up here on the rocks. So you don't have to drag it quite as far with the winch, or the crane, I mean. And then it does have some weight to it. It's not horribly heavy, but I try to lift it up before extending it out, and then kind of extend it out and get it lined up at the same time. All right. That's a nice shot, all right? Let's head to the drill site. It's just around the corner. A little bit further. Fulton Drilling Company. And we're here. Turn that in. Now that task is complete. The only other task we have left is oil tank delivery, and that's right here. Just to drag that up to the gas station there. Personally, I usually drag it this way to the highway and then take the highway up and drop it off like that. Just because this stretch of road right through here is pretty treacherous. It's not like you can't get through there, but it definitely takes a while. All right, next on the list, we have timber. Those are the logs to the sawmill. But before we do that, we're gonna do the last regular contract, which is floating drill. And to do this one, I'm gonna head back to the garage and get out our trusty P16. Let's see, what do we have? We've got the advanced heavy winch installed. That's good. I did install the wedge cap snorkel. We didn't have a snorkel on this at all in Michigan. And then we have the saddle high installed. I think I'm gonna give it a paint job because it looks just so much better when it matches the trailer that we're pulling. We haven't driven the P16 in a little while. I kind of miss it. So let's look on the map here real quick and see where we're headed. Basically, we're going to run up the road until we get to this turnoff. We got to go across the marsh, or the bog, whatever you want to call it. Then back around, and this is that off-camber place where we're going to be careful not to let the rock tip us over. And then to the trailer. So that's our route. Let's do it. This is the last contract that you have to do. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is doing this contract will unlock what I consider to be the first contract for Mountain River. So I like to leave this one for last, even though we'll do the logging contract next. In Michigan, I waited until the very end to do the logging, and that was because I was trying to get as high of a rank as I could. But that's not really the issue here, so we're gonna do the logging as we go. Such a cool truck. I was watching some videos of like real life P16s doing logging back in the 70s. They're such massive trucks. Pretty cool stuff. Be prepared for the unexpected. Oh, we will be. Water over the road. Uh-oh. I know how this one's gonna go. All right, so if you get a sign, I like how it's just stuck there like that, right? If you get a sign stuck in your truck, go back to the garage. Do not keep driving. Give it about 2 seconds and then go back to your truck and it disappears. See how it just dropped into the ground there? That's much better than totaling out. Trust me, I've totaled out many times from signs. Them things are nasty. I don't think we're even gonna need to winch our way through here with this. It's got some pretty gnarly mud rating on these tires. Who needs all-wheel drive, right? And I think the tires are like, what, 57-inch tires or something like that? So they're definitely tall. Yeah, buddy, let's do this. Oh, and I put the horns on the front because I had forgotten to do that when we were in Michigan. Gotta have horns. Look at those horns. They just look cool. I guess we do need to winch. The rest of this should be pretty easy for this truck. The P16 will get both an engine upgrade and a gearbox upgrade when we get into the other maps, but by then probably won't need them. I guess we could use it for some logging contracts. That would probably be good to have it for. It's so wide, and not having like basically no suspension travel on the back axles keeps it fairly stable. It has a big wide footprint. If you remember when we came through here with the Chevy in the beginning, the Chevy was like taking up only one side of these tracks because it was so small, and I was commenting on how this road was a little bit big for it. Well, now look at this truck. It basically takes up the entire road. It's a bit of a size difference, and we'll get our first little side hill action here. Doesn't seem to be any issue. And then we have the rock, the dreaded rock in the middle of the road. I'm gonna see if I can straddle it. That worked pretty good. And now we're back to the highway, back to the easy stuff. Give it the horn. There it is, the longest trailer in the game with the most weight, a drilling rig, and we're color matched. We got the wolf grip colors. There we go. Let's go. The biggest challenge driving this is just the fact that you can't really see over the trailer because the trailer is so damn big, but it still does all right. Oh, I swapped out the front bumper too. Can't remember. I think I still had the white off-road bumper on this when we were in Michigan, but after we got ranked up, this bumper became available. It's the same bumper that the Twin Steer has on it by default, which has a pretty decent clearance on it. But yeah, this is the view from behind. Can't see the truck at all, or if you go up like this to see the truck, then you can't really see the road ahead of you, just the road immediately in front of you is all. And then if you switch to the trailer view, that's quite a ways back, man. So this is the spot. I'm telling you, this trailer and this rock, the two together, they do not mix. It's like water and oil. I'm going to try to straddle it, and it worked, thankfully. I don't know how many times I've flipped this trailer down that hill. Oh, we're not out of the woods yet. Trailer's going over the rock. I don't know how many times I've flipped that trailer down that hill. And that is a horrible rescue mission. Get a winch on that right away. Oh, great. Now I got the trailer stuck on the rocks. Just pull off to the side a little bit. There we go. Right around it like nothing. The rest of this should be pretty decent. I already know we'll make it through the mud. It's just a matter of how quickly. Actually, I'd say the worst part of this is trying to drive this truck down the ice highway from, by the time we get back to the main road, from there to the port. Gets a little nasty, a little bit squirrely. Rounding this corner can be challenging because it's pretty long trailer, so you know, you want to take it wide. That's why oftentimes I watch from the front so I can see where the trailer's actually going, and it's not like we're going very fast, so reaction time isn't really an issue. Just want to make sure that you don't run it into the trees or something. It's a long load. Almost back to the mud bog. This paint scheme actually looks pretty good on this truck, I have to say. The red, black, and white like that, and the yellow tires, or the yellow wheels, they kind of match the yellow trim on the drilling rig. It's like it was meant to be. All right, we're entering the bog. Now we'll see how this performs through here. Wow, the front of that thing just sunk way down in there. That's not a good sign. I'll try low, see if it'll push through. And it's still moving pretty slowly, but it is. Look at it go. No, it's done. I think the trailer may have gotten hung up on. That's way too far back. All right, that seems to be working pretty good. The trailer was still up on the road. Now it wasn't even in the mud yet. It is now though. Have to go from the back. That's getting the job done. One more time. Go from there to there. Thing is, we just got the trailer into the mud and the truck is almost out, so that'll give you an idea how long this load is. One last winch. That should pull us through. Almost there. Come on, push your way up the top. There we go. Yeah, buddy. Let her rip. Let the horn rip. Now, just gotta make sure we don't get hung up on any of these guardrails going out of here to the port, and then we'll be just fine. Take this corner nice and wide. I usually try to do a 3-point turn on this because that guardrail over there to the left tends to get hung up on the trailer if you don't swing wide enough. And I think we got it. That's a decent shot right there. Might go right up over the top. Yep, just over the edge. We got it. Let's go. Now we just have to steer. If I can steer this thing and keep it on the road, we're golden. And make sure that we don't run it into the side of the bridge passing by. It will bounce around the edge as long as the tires don't get stuck. There we go. The home stretch is in sight. And right around the corner to the left, we have this in the bag. Perfect. There it is. Disposed of all the junk. Very good. All right. That's where we're going to have to stop today. In the next episode, we'll get started on that logging contract, and the last task, we should be able to wrap up Northport and get ready to move into Mountain River. Start the scouting there. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.